morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from, and welcome back to another episode of Behind the Whistle. Today, we're going back to what we all know and love, a match day vlog. So if you've been following the channel, you'll see that we've had 2 cup finals at the end of this season, and we're going to be reviewing the first one. This final was between Whaddon United and Southside Star. I'll pop up where these guys finished on the table, so you can see, but it's not really that important. This is a cup final, 1 game. Obviously, it's been a little while since we've done a proper match day vlog, and that's just because it's been difficult with games. There's not been consistent games towards the end of the season. We've been running the line, and so we haven't been able to get these out consistently. But we've got this week and next week doing both cup finals, and then as of next season, we'll be back week in, week out, just like we all want and need. So let's jump straight into the review. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you next week. So straight away, as you can see, the sun is absolutely glaring. It's horrible. It's super low. This game kicked off at, what was it, 7 or 7:30 in the evening. So the sun was really low, it was really hard to see. So from this point, you'll see my hand over my eyes trying to block the sun. I tried to make sure I was the other side of play so that I could actually see, because glaring right into it, I couldn't really see what was happening. So at points, you might find my position a little bit strange, but there's a reason for that, and that's because of the sun, and that was intentional. So Southside break, and then Whaddon nearly score an own goal. So as that ball gets played in, you'll notice there's a 2v1 out on the wing. However, the Southside number 3 cuts inside, and I anticipated him to play it down the line, which is my fault. You'll see as he plays this long ball, we have to duck out the way quite quickly to make sure we don't get hit by the ball, but we're straight back on to see what happens. The ball is going to be challenged by what I think is the Southside striker and the Whaddon defender. So we try and get wide and left to get an angle on the foul that might occur. This doesn't happen. The Whaddon player heads the ball back home, and as you can see, the ball hits the post. We make a real effort to get into position just in case something happens. And as you'll see, by the time that ball hits the post, we're on the edge of the box. And then just as there could potentially be a penalty decision, we are right on the edge of the box so we can see what's about to happen. The Whaddon defender obviously manages to clear the ball, and thankfully for Whaddon, it's not an early own goal. So here we get our first real decision of the game. The ball gets played down the left-hand side by Southside, and the Whaddon defender comes in and commits both a foul and a handball offence for me. This was the first real foul we had in the game, and it was going through my mind, okay, is this a promising attack? Is this worthy of a yellow card? And watching it back, maybe. As again, I move up the levels, the expectation here is probably a yellow card. However, at this level, players aren't expecting a yellow card here, I don't think. Southside's player is taking the touch inside, so for me it could be a promising attack. However, it's a cup final. It's the first kind of incident we've had. I want to let the game flow as much as possible, and nobody is asking for a yellow card. So for me, I let it go, and I just have a word with the player. And I basically explain, look mate, you've gone to put your hands over him, it's hit your hand, and the only reason it's not a yellow card is because, you know, X, Y, Z. I can't remember exactly what I said. I actually don't think at the time I realised it was handball. I thought the touch had gone down the line and then there was a foul. And so I think I said to him, the only reason it's not a yellow is because obviously the touch has gone down the line. But yeah, in hindsight, it was actually handball. But my point still stands. I still don't think I'd give a yellow card if it was to come to this again. But again, as I go up the levels, maybe that will change. So we get a situation here where I'm miles out of position. Let's have a little look. So Southside lose it on the edge of the box following a corner, and I drop back to make sure that I'm not in the way of the Whaddon pass. However, the ball is lumped upfield, and so I'm miles away from the incident happening if something did happen. Thankfully, in a game like this, I do have assistants, and by the way, what a difference having assistant referees make. Oh my word. I cannot wait to get to the next level, so I've got actual assistant referees because, yeah, this was brilliant. Anyway, I'm miles away. Could I do much different? I'm not sure. Instead of dropping off when he's about to play the pass, maybe I could still go forward but break out onto that left-hand side. But then again, if he loses it, if he tries to play upfield, loses it, then I'm out of position at this end. So it's hard. Let me know what you guys think. Thankfully, the goalkeeper doesn't handball it. There's no foul. It's just a goal kick. But just shows how difficult it can be when play breaks from one end of the pitch to the other so quickly. We then get this brilliant finish and Whaddon go 1-0 up. We get an interesting decision here where a striker gets brought down by the defender as the ball is going through to goal. So as the ball ricochets up, you'll see the defender gets up and there's a collision between the striker and the defender. For me, the defender has gone to ground after winning the ball, has gone to get up and doesn't really know much about the lad being there. So for me, it's just a coming together. There were a few shouts for a foul, but I'm not sure he knew he was there. And I wasn't willing to put a big decision on the fact that he'd done it deliberately. I really didn't think he had. So for me, it's just a coming together. Then the lad is obviously down injured. So as ball turns over possession, we stop play to make sure that he can get treatment. And then following that, we get our first yellow card. So the ball gets played out to the south side winger, and then the Whaddon number 10 comes straight through the back of him. Now, you'll see that when that tackle happens, I actually was slightly blocked off by this south side player in the middle. Now, I knew it was a foul. I knew he hadn't made contact with the ball. However, how bad the tackle was, I didn't know. Based on the reaction of my assistant and the fourth official, for me, it was just a yellow card for a reckless play and nothing more. And thankfully, as you'll see from the replay, it is just that. And that is half time. So, not much to talk about in the first half. Obviously, a clear yellow card, 1-0 to Whaddon, and then we go into the second half. The second half was a lot more eventful, so make sure you stick around. So about 10 minutes into the second half of the game, we get our second yellow card. Shortly before this same player committed a foul. I haven't included it in the vlog because I don't want the video to be too long for you guys. But he committed a borderline reckless foul by the boards, by the side of the pitch. So when this foul was committed, again, this was borderline. However, I felt it was appropriate to show him a yellow card for a mixture of both reckless play and persistent. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you think this is a yellow card? Or do you think I could have let this one go? We then get a penalty decision. Let's run through it. So the ball gets booted up by the goalkeeper and we have to make a real sprint when it comes off the attacker or the defender. We glance across, we see that it's not offside, and we make a real effort to sprint in and get left of play so that we can get an angle on the tackle. And then as that ball comes in, you'll see that the defender makes a foul on the striker. We've got a perfect angle on it and we blow the whistle for a penalty. When that foul is committed, I believed that the striker had a clear and obvious goal scoring opportunity. So why have I not sent him off? If there's a foul inside the box and it's a genuine attempt to play the ball, then it's just a yellow card and not a red card for Dogso. So that's why I've shown him a yellow card. To be honest, the decision for me is very simple. It was a very clear foul. The thing I'm most happy about is my movement and my positioning. I've really worked out in this first year of being an official that 95% of the problems that come to making decisions is all based around your effort and your positioning. If you've got a good position, then it makes making a decision 10 times easier. So I was really happy with the position. The foul is very simple to me. And yeah, that is a penalty to Southside. Now, what you'll notice
is as I issue that penalty, the first thing I do is check on the player. I've already registered in my mind who committed the foul, so I'm not going to forget that. And as I'm talking to the player, I call the Whaddon defender over. For all of you that have watched the channel for a while, you know that I've got a bad habit of flashing the card pretty quickly. But this time I was playing it through my mind. What am I supposed to do here? And as I'm talking to the injured player, I've come to the conclusion, and then I call the player over. So I've given myself plenty of time. I've not rushed into the decision. And again, it's something I'm really, really happy with because I've got a bad habit of showing cards really quickly. Southside then score a cracking penalty, and that makes it 1-1. About 15 minutes after that penalty, we get another penalty decision at the other end. For those of you that have watched the previous video, you'll already know what's about to come, but this is a real tough one. So let's watch it together. In the moment, my gut instinct said he's brought his arm from above his head down towards the ball, and that's why I blew for a penalty. Now, is that a natural position? That's up for debate, and I guess that is down to the referee in that game, in that particular game, which this time was me. The ball travels a long way, right? So that was a consideration in my head, is the ball is not ricocheted off anybody, it's not been blasted at him from close range. The ball's traveled a long way. He knows the flight of the ball and how it's going to bounce. It's on AstroTurf, so it's a very predictable bounce. If I freeze it, you'll notice that his arm is above his head and then it comes down towards the ball. I don't blow immediately. I'm trying to process in my head whether this is handball or not, and I did think it was, and so I've given a penalty. I posted this and it was very much 50-50. I had a lot of people saying it was handball and a lot of people saying it wasn't. If I could go back, would I give it? I don't know is the honest answer. In the moment, I believed it was handball. And I never ever want to be a ref that is scared to make decisions because of the game, the type of game that we're in. I thought it was handball, so I gave a penalty, and that's that. I think you could go 50-50 on this. And as a football fan, I think if you could go 50-50 in a cup final when it's 1-1, I probably wouldn't give it. However, as a referee in the moment, I thought it was handball, and so I gave it, and I'm not going to change that. I always want to give a decision if I believe that it's correct. I don't want to take the occasion, the fear, anything like that into it. Also, you'll notice that when we give the penalty, none of the players complain. So although there's a lot of people watching it back on video saying it's not a penalty, you'll notice that none of the players on field complain. And for me, that speaks absolute volumes about the decision as well. Yeah, tough one, but penalty to Whaddon. We then get another yellow card. Whaddon are obviously now 2-1 up. The ball goes out for a goal kick, and then the Whaddon forward kicks the ball away from the goalkeeper, delaying the restart. Again, as teams go in the lead and we're coming towards the end of the game, we need to be super, super vigilant about delaying the restart. This is a clear act of that, and so we show a yellow card. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is full time. I hope you've enjoyed this week's vlog. Thank you so much for the support. I cannot wait for next season. We're gonna have weekly vlogs just as we have done this year at a new level. So I'm really excited for that. But stick with us through the summer. It's gonna be hard to get out content, obviously with no football through the month of June, but I hope you've enjoyed what we've started here. I can't wait to build on it next year, and I will see you guys next week.